everybody. Like I said yesterday, I was gonna talk about something serious. Which, if you saw it, which nobody has yet, it was about suicide. Not last video, this one. And I was just gonna talk about it in a sense of like why, in my opinion, why people do it and what I think about it, and yeah. And then first reason, because I'm in high school, not reason, but just in general. Uh, and like ever since like sixth grade, I've noticed, people saying that they're gonna commit suicide and stuff. And the reason is because, and this is the one reason why it's stupid, because high school relationships. Because somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend dumps them after a long time, which, yeah, I mean, I get it, it's sad. I mean, it would be really sad. But I don't think that's any reason to, get a gun and shoot yourself or get a knife and cut your wrist. I think that's kind of stupid. But I mean, like if they cry and are sad, I mean, it would make sense, like depressed. But I don't think suicidal's, acceptable. But well, because I mean, I don't know anybody who's done it, who's committed suicide, but I know people who's thought about it, and it's kind of sad. I mean, and then another thing leading to that is when people cut their wrists. I mean, or like their arm area. I mean, I don't do it, but I mean, I know somebody who does, and he doesn't seem fine with people knowing. I mean, it's kind of sad. I know people who has done it. It's kind of, I mean, it hurts. I mean, I haven't gone that far, but I mean, similar to it. But like, I mean, you would stereotype people who cut their wrists as emo people, which is kind of sad. But and then I don't know, because you look at the factors of why they would be depressed. I mean, for me, there's only a few things in this world that could depress me, and everybody thinks I'm depressed for some reason, but I'm not. But it would be understandable because some of my friends, I know why. I mean, it's because they think their life sucks and all that, even though it's kind of their life seems pretty good. I don't know why they're complaining, but I mean, and then sometimes, I mean, one time it made me mad because this is my story, not me, but people I know. Because my friend wouldn't shut up, and I'm not saying like I ignore people who have problems, but I mean, just wouldn't leave me alone, saying that he wanted me to kill him and get a knife and stab him over and over again and stuff because he was sad and depressed and had no girlfriend, which is kind of creepy. But I mean, now he has a girlfriend. I mean, he talks about it every day on Facebook. He has good grades and everything, so good for him. And then somebody who I know tried to like hang themselves, which is kind of weird. And then try to stab himself or OD and that kind of scary stuff. I mean, everybody always says, "Oh, get help," but I don't think it's that easy. I mean, just gonna go up to your parents and then say, that you want to commit suicide or you want to not be alive anymore. Because if it's your parents that's making you feel that way, then you should talk to your friend or friends, like a really good friend that you have. But I mean, if it's your friends, that's another thing that I should probably include going into high school and stuff, would be bullying, which is a factor in this. Because bullying causes suicide everywhere. I mean, last year, if you go to my school, because I live in Oklahoma, it's filled with a bunch of rednecks and stupid cowboys. So my art class last year, because of my hair, I got called a faggot and emo and gay. But I mean, I just laughed it over. I didn't do anything. I don't really get bothered by people calling me names. I think they're just jealous of what I have, and I don't have much. So, I guess it's saying something. But I mean, I'm trying to say this without trying to be offensive to anybody. But uh, you look at like homosexual people who get bullied, usually commit suicide. But that's a different factor from what I'm talking about. That's a little different in a sense. I'm just talking about in general people want to commit suicide. It's kind of sad. Uh, I have been depressed before for kind of stupid reasons. But I mean, I think people should like life more than they do. Because, well, first of all, I mean, I'm in high school. We're all in high school. Well, most people. So it makes no sense to think that your life's over when you're not even graduated yet, which is kind of retarded to think. Um, but yeah, I mean, usually it's just relationships gone bad. People cry, try to commit suicide or cut themselves, which I don't. Well, my friend calls it self mutilation, which is the right word, but I don't get why hurting yourself would make it anything better. I mean, because if it's your fault, I would just say it's my fault. Tell that person sorry, and then I mean it. Well, I don't think I'd cut myself because it seems really too much. Just too much in general. But because in my view, because I remember my life, I've almost died twice. I almost drowned once, but then this man saved me, which is pretty awesome. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today, which is kind of sad. And then when I was in Japan, because I used to live there, I was calling my friend, and when I hung up, my dad said I should call him back and tell him goodbye for the last time. I said, why? He said, because that we were going to die the next day. And then it turns out that, it was this incident with North Korea, and they were going to send, like, bombs towards Japan. So then, like, I was young, so, I mean, I started crying and stuff, which I don't do really much anymore. But, I mean, we had, like, the last meal, thinking that before that afterwards you were going to die, but we didn't. So then, like, it's in that. This isn't really on the topic, but things like that make you appreciate life more. For me, because I think the more closer you come to dying, the more you appreciate life. I'm not saying like you should go and try to die so you like life more, but and then last year I jumped off a car that was going about 45, and then I slid on the street, like flopped on the street, and this guy from the baseball field at my school could hear me hit the street, and then my friends thought I was dead, and then they started freaking out, but then I got up, so. But I mean, whenever I think it, I think like, what if my neck snapped and I died? Like, we joked about it, but if it really happened, it's not funny. I mean, I don't. I for one don't want to die anytime soon, but I do, things that could kill me, which is kind of sad. But I mean, I'm not trying to like get people to pity me because of my life, because that'd be retarded. But back to the topic, like, I mean, they say get help, but it's not always that easy because some people will just say, oh, like simple, I can't really say it right now, but simple things that don't really help you, like, or they'll make you feel bad about what you're doing, like they don't try to help. Because I've never really asked anybody for help, because everybody's kind of just can't help. Actually, I did one time ask one person, but that person kept saying, I can't help, I'm sorry, which is kind of sucks, but that's okay. And for now, really what I've been just it's just been bothering me for the past like 5 years. Just I mean, you think about it, you hear it all the time. I mean, suicide and that. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I think it should stop, but I mean, you can't stop it unless you try to do something about it. And I mean, I always help people that need help because they're depressed or something. I mean, I always do my best to try. And that's about it for now. Just a little subject that needs to be talked about more. So,